Welcome to today's episode of Confessions of a Cleaning Business Owner. Today we're going to be talking about how to make the most of Instagram for your cleaning business. Okay, so the reason for this is I recently ran a webinar, and what we ran through is lots and lots of training on using Instagram, how to use it in your cleaning business to promote your cleaning business. And Diane, we're going to start with the objections in a second, right? But I'm going to give a bit of an introduction first before I allow you a moment to object to what I'm doing. So I love Instagram. I love Instagram. I love TikTok. I love Facebook. And for one of my other businesses, I've got over 60,000 followers on Instagram. We sell on Instagram. The business makes a lot of money, both in terms of what we're paid from Instagram and also in terms of what we sell on Instagram. Do I 100% believe that you could run a cleaning company off just Instagram or just TikTok? I actually 100% believe that I could launch a cleaning company successfully on Instagram. That being said, my cleaning business is actually not on Instagram. I might have an Instagram account. I don't know, might have about 3 posts on it. I don't use Instagram for my cleaning business. So we're going to talk through how I would, using all my experience from other industries. But let's let you have the floor now, Diane. Why are you not a fan of Instagram?
It's not Instagram. We use Instagram for our cleaning business, and I use it for a couple of other things as well. I don't have anything against Instagram. I do have a problem sometimes with social media, and it's people sort of talking it up and how amazing it is, and they're posting so much and they're putting so much time and effort into it, when I know as an experienced cleaning business owner that if I spent that time and money on Google, I would probably get better quality clients. So I would never say to anybody don't use social media, because actually, particularly for a startup phase, or as you're growing your business, it can be a really quick and easy way to get clients. But it's also a massive time soak. And I think, and I've written a whole book about marketing. So I think I know a bit about marketing cleaning businesses and social media, because obviously the DCBN was grown originally only on social media. But I don't think it's the be all and end all. So that's my only concern, is that it should be a marketing strategy, but not the only marketing strategy. That's my only reservations around social media, is there are other strategies out there that are potentially better as your business grows. But for all that, I think that it can be a really good startup strategy. Is that not as ranty as you would be, Louise?
I actually agree with you. And the reason that my cleaning business is not on Instagram is because I'm chronically lazy. Not that you'll ever catch me sat around, but I am only going to do something if it's delivering the best bang for my buck. And for me, the amount of work I have to put into running some of our social media accounts, it would be too much of a slog for me to do it. Whereas I can have it just listed on Google and we're going to get the work in and it's effort free. Why would I not do that? And I think I've already done all the work to be online. So that's why I don't need Instagram. I would if I had to, and I would do it in an instant. But I don't have to, and so therefore I'm going to spend my time elsewhere. So
yeah, in business we have choices, don't we, and which marketing strategies work. And when I'm coaching, it's always about, okay, we need more than one marketing strategy, first of all. So social media is a strategy, Google is another, flyers, etc., etc. But you've got to be able to measure your results and know what return you're getting on either the time and or the money that you're investing. Having said that, you have got the skills to build a business on Instagram, because you clearly are doing it. And the masterclass that we recorded was brilliant, because it was just really practical tips and ideas and exactly how to do it. So you're going to share a few with us on the podcast, Louise, or keep it all secret in the
I'm going to share some with you. So just to set sort of what I do. So my Instagram account has currently 62.7 thousand followers. I think my TikTok has, oh God knows how many, 60 odd thousand, and Facebook in the region of 40,000 followers. So I do know a fair bit about social media. But when I ran those accounts, it's because I'm excited about the topics. Now, my problem with cleaning here is because most of what my business does is regular domestic cleaning. And I walk into these houses and they're nicer than my house before I even begin. And what we do is we take it and we will clean already clean bathrooms and already beautiful kitchens. There's no transformation. So I struggle sometimes with having really good visual content. And if I just put up some of the beautiful, stunning kitchens we do, Well, they're beautiful. Where's the cleaning? It's just a beautiful kitchen. And I don't know if you saw on my personal profile, it was in the Manchester Evening News, and it was a house that we actually clean. It's gone on the market. It's just been reduced from 5.3 million to 4.95 million. And they have a supercar garage underneath with a turntable surrounded by glass. And I cleaned this house lots and lots of times, and it was my job to clean this glass turntable. But on the other side of some of the glass, there's like a glass wine cellar, and I smacked my head so many times walking into glass all over the place. And what was lovely is I could finally share some of the photos, because I can't go taking pictures of their supercars and their glass wine cellars and their amazing pool room off the and you just go, it was quite nice to be able to share it, and I wasn't able to share that on any of our social media, which is why I don't always worry about it, and it wouldn't necessarily work for me. It is the privacy policies.
Is it because we kind of think of Instagram particularly all being about pictures, is we think, well, it's got to be before and afters? But yeah, you're right, on a regular domestic clean, the before and the after, there's not a big enough transition between the two. It doesn't mean the team haven't worked really hard, but picking up some toys and then scrubbing that shower isn't going to be visually impactful. I think if you're doing biohazard cleans, or you maybe managed to come across a really dirty plug hole, but if you're doing a regular clean, you shouldn't be coming across those things. So it's hard, isn't it, to have the content sometimes?
Yeah, so you've always got to feel yourself. So we've actually just bought a GoPro, right? You see, these chest strapped ones to have a GoPro. So you are just picking up footage all the time. Now, we've talked in the past about there are some benefits to wearing a body cam, in that you would always be protected. But you and I have discussed this on podcasts. There's some real issues with wearing a body cam in terms of privacy, and actually, is that allowed? Now, where we're wearing it is fine, but can you wear a body cam in a house?
I think it might be a little bit, yeah, you might have to be careful as to what you were recording and why.
I'll tell you what, it'll get you some good footage though, wouldn't it? But anyway, right. So let's get on to Instagram. So if you are going to do Instagram, the first thing you need to do, you can come up with the best material in the world. You can have viral videos, but ultimately you want to sell your service. You want to make money. Let's assume you want to make money rather than just become famous for the sake of it. I want to make money. So the first thing you need to do is have a proper Instagram profile. So you need to be optimized. Again, this is where I debate it slightly. So you should, as people say, that you should have your logo as your profile picture. I don't do that on any of mine, if I'm really honest. I make it more personal. I will put a picture of me, and I know the DCBM one has a picture of me and Diane at an awards ceremony. You've then got to give a little bit of a description about you. Again, this is a nicely sell. So sell what you do. List, I do domestic cleaning in this area. I do this in this area. Just make it really succinct. You haven't got many words, so make sure that's included. And then the thing that's going to really sell, you need a link. So you can put a link to your website, or you can use Linktree. So this is a free piece of software. I love Linktree because on a lot of social media platforms, you can only have one website or link. If you use Linktree as your link, it then gives you a drop down to, I think we've got about 8 different links on there for the podcast, the masterclasses, the Facebook chat, but you could have any links you want on there. It will link to your Facebook, it will link to your TikTok, to your X, to your Spotify, whatever you have on there. So if you haven't looked at it already, it's free. I would use Linktree. We love that on all of them, don't we?
Yeah, really useful tool.
The other one, and this one's up for a little bit of debate on it, whether you use a business or a creator account. Automatically, a lot of us set up business accounts, and there are a lot of benefits to having a business account if you sell products. So if you have a business account, you get access to more analytics, it gives you a lot more insights, a lot more data. There are benefits of doing that. But if you're selling a service, the likelihood is they're probably not really buying through your account directly anyway. You're then redirecting them to go and get it elsewhere. So one of the benefits of having a creator account is that you get access to all the viral sounds and music, and I love those because it really allows you to be creative and witty. And if you can get a really good, you can do trending sounds with like music, or I like some of the like cheeky, naughty ones if a child said something, or they can be a quote from a prime minister, and you can get it to really connect with a bit of footage you've got. I really like one of those, and I can see that's not everyone's cup of tea, But that's why I prefer the creator accounts, because you've got more access to better sounds.
Yeah, and trending sounds can actually be a really powerful way of getting your videos seen, can't it?
Yes, I'm liking the what is it, the APT song at the moment. Do you know it? You probably don't know it, do you? Anyway, it
Is that
says
the
I'm coming.
watching one? Is that the watching?
No, that's a different one.
Okay.
But anyway, so there's lots of trending sounds, and you can get on there if you want to do a dance. I personally do not want to do a dance, but if you want to do a dance, you can get on there and do that. And it just allows you to join in all the trends. So that's why I would have a creator account, because the business account stops you from doing a lot of that. But you can do what you like. I would get a business account if I was selling a lot of products. Okay, then the next thing, right? So what we need to really understand if you're going to produce any good quality footage is, who are you selling to? So I see a lot of people. So obviously I own a beekeeping business, and I see a lot of people making this mistake. And the same thing happens in the cleaning industry. There is no point in me creating content for other beekeepers. Just as if I am selling my cleaning service, why would I create content that appeals to other cleaners? I don't want cleaners on my account, just like I don't necessarily want beekeepers on my account, because they're never going to buy from me. Beekeepers don't buy honey, just like cleaners will never buy your cleaning service. Don't think that you're popular for the sake of being popular. If they are not your target audience, please don't create any material that's going to appeal to them. Think about your target audience. So your target audience could be landlords, property developers, mums, it could be commuters, it could be older people, it could be anything you want. So once you know your audience, let's create content that appeals to them. Now, I've got to say, I've always set up my business to almost sell to myself. I always make myself my target audience. So when I'm selling cleaning, I want to sell to busy mums, busy, overworked mums, and I will completely connect. It's really easy to create content. It's the same for selling the bees. I want to sell it to health conscious, possibly uneducated about insects, people of their 30 to 50-year-old age bracket, probably with time poor. I'm like, oh, that is me. So I sell to me because it's easy. You don't have to. You, as long as you understand your audience, that's absolutely fine.
It's interesting. It's actually interesting, because one of the reasons I set up my cleaning business was because I was driving home late from work one Friday night, and my mother-in-law, who is lovely, was visiting the next day, and I was like, do I clean the house tonight, or do I get up early in the morning and do it? And because I've been thinking and toying with the idea of starting a business, and cleaning was kind of one of the things that I'd considered, it was like, yeah, because I know that I will be target market and I can sell to myself. So yeah, a lot of us, I think, probably started businesses to fit around family, and that makes us an ideal client, doesn't it?
Yeah, I am my own target market, and I think that's true of almost everyone, isn't it? Like, it's easier to sell to yourself, or delude yourself sometimes. Right. So the next thing we want, right, is, I see this all the time. There are really good influencers, and they do produce some really, really good content out there. And it is getting harder and harder to stand out on social media, because everyone under their sun now has a social media account. So you need to be producing some really high quality content. So it needs to be bright, it needs to be clear. If you've got a photo, a before and after photo, I would be editing them to get the light right, because it can make a really big bit of difference. There's lots of different things you can do. So for example, you can tell your story, you can say what you did in a day, you can do before and after, you can do testimonials, you can, I mean, the list of what you can do to create content is endless, but what you need to surround anything you do is really good, high quality footage. So well lit, clear, and your messaging needs to be clear. And I always add captions as well, because again, I'm selling to myself. I watch social media in bed, right? And quite often my husband's there, he's nearly always there, in bed, and he's like, you can't have any noise, so I have to watch it in silence with just the captions. And it's been proven that a lot of people apparently are quite similar to me. So yeah, you need to have your captions, because not everyone's going to listen to you. So yeah, good quality content, behind the scenes, there's loads you can do. The next thing is how often to post. What do you think, Diane? When's the best time to post? You should know this.
What time of day? Or how often?
Yeah, how often? What's the best time of day? Give me some stats, because you'll know yours.
So most of my audience are active in the early evening. That's when I tend to post for my cleaning business, that is. Other ones, it's different. And that's the great thing, actually. One of the things I like about social media is it does actually give you that information, doesn't it? It tells you when your audience are active. You just need to think, when would your target audience be active? So if your target audience for your cleaning business is busy mums with kids, it's probably going to be when they first got up, or when the kids are doing something else, or when the kids are in bed. Busy family, forget it. Yeah.
There's a peak at 4 o'clock, right, for busy families, and then it's after 7.
Yeah. So that's exactly that then, isn't it? It's like the kids are watching daytime TV or whatever kids do nowadays at 4 o'clock. And then after they've gone to bed, or when they're settled, doing something else after tea. So yeah, it's not going to be a tea time, is it, when you're feeding the rabble, shall we say?
So I try to hit people twice a day. So how I do it, I'm looking at 6 in the morning, and then I will normally release it about 5 in the evening. And it's a little bit before the peak times. And the reason is the algorithm. When you first release a video, let's say it's going to go viral, it's first released to sort of the first 50 people. And if enough of those interact with it and like it, then it gets released to, say, the next 100. Yeah. And so what we're doing is building and building and building. I want it to be hitting its peak at the peak viewing time. So if I start it at 5 and within 2 hours, it's now really starting to go for it, I'm hitting 7 o'clock in the evening. And that then gives me enough time. So at 5 o'clock, there's enough people online for it to really be hitting those algorithms to be then hitting my peak time. What I don't want is to release it at 9 o'clock at night. Loads of people are online. That's absolute 7 till 9 is my peak time. I'm building up the momentum from 9 till 10, and by 11 it's performing at its absolute peak and people are all going to bed. I'm like, oh dear. And then you've got to hope that the algorithm picks it up again the next day, which it might, or it appeals to people in America, so they're watching it all night. So I do like 6 in the morning or 5 in the evening as posting times.
So is it about understanding those insights that it gives you on your social media, Instagram? Is it about understanding those insights and then applying them, isn't it, for your audience?
Yes. And what I find as well is, even though the stats, interesting enough, so people are online at the weekends, but it's kind of spread more evenly. It's not as high, but it's a medium level all over. But what I find at weekends, it's easier to convert people, whereas during the week, they convert in the evenings. I don't find many people actually purchase or go on to the next level at 7 in the morning. So I'm also looking at conversion
rather than actually wanting to do anything other than just look.
Yeah. And if, for example, I was appealing to property developers, I would definitely be going in the evenings before bed. If I was appealing to pensioners, I'd probably be looking early morning. Like, you're going to catch, really, they're all about the morning. I'd be going from 5 till 11 in the morning. I wouldn't necessarily be posting in the evenings. It's a lot of morning. And pensioners do use social media, by the way. Don't rule them out.
Yeah.
So it's when to do it. How often should you post, Diane?
This is an interesting question, actually, because I think sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to post every single day that we end up posting not at all. So when I've had conversations with DCBM members and my coaching clients about this, and they've gone, it's just too much, I just can't post every day. And I've gone, well, post 3 times a week then, but do it consistently, because that's actually more productive, isn't it, than posting every day for 2 weeks and then posting nothing for a month.
Yeah. So, and again, this depends whether you're posting reels, stories, posts. I would say a good reel or post, you're looking at 3 to 4 times a week. If you get to the size of account that I've got, probably people expect us to post twice a day by that stage. But that being said, stories are the way forward. So a post or reel is only as good as how many people see it. And if it goes viral, that's fantastic. But they take a lot of editing. It's a lot of work to get a good reel, and it's not unreasonable that one of my reels could take me half an hour, 40 minutes just to create a 20-second clip. So I only really wanted to be doing that 3 or 4 times a week. But my stories, I want to be putting up my unedited ones. They can have links to things. I would, if you could, be putting up 3 or 4 stories a day, just little things to keep you in people's mind.
So that the struggle there is going to be, for people listening, is going to be, how on earth am I going to either have enough ideas to post that often?
So stop thinking about ideas. If you watch the influencers and people that are posting a lot, they're not coming up with great ideas. The 3 or 4 really good reels are really good, witty ideas. They're really good. The story, people just want to know what you're doing. They're nosy. So like, Diane, right, I'm going to do it now. I could literally film what we're doing now. People want to know. People want to know what it's like behind the podcast. They're looking at my camera, my ring light that you don't normally get to see. They want to know what's going on behind the scenes. So if you listen to the podcast, I will be posting this story, 6 seconds of it. That's all it has to be, just a quick film of what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's it, because I know my daughter and her mates do, and I don't even know what it's called, but every single day they have a prompt on an app, and it comes at different times of the day, and they have to share a picture of themselves and who they're with and their room. It's like an app that they use. But it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Where it's, what are you doing right now? Share it.
Yeah. Or it's even like your snap streak, isn't it? You don't know what that is, do you?
No.
That's when you have a snap chat with someone. But anyway, yes. But people are cheating. The one you're talking about, they cheat and they take photos in advance, and then
okay.
They do still cheat. So yeah, so I love, if you can't post that often, just whack it in your stories. They only last 24 hours. Don't worry about embarrassing yourself. It'll come down anyway. It only lasts 24 hours and it's gone.
And if it does well, you recreate it as a post, I would assume.
And the other thing is, if a post or reel does really well, then you want to reshare that. So then I'd be scheduling it to go out. I give people a bit of time to forget, but I would then, a good post or reel, I'd post it 3 weeks later, and then 3 weeks later, and 3 weeks later. And you'd be surprised how few people see it, and they don't care that you're reposting content.
Interesting.
The other thing I do is, if I've got a good reel, it does really well, I will often take that video in it and then either voice over it, set it to a piece of music. So I often, if I know it's working well, I recreate it in different ways. And then even if they watch it again, they don't mind. So do what you like, really. It's just about having fun. Do what works for you. Entertain yourself. I'm not sure if that's the right
advice. If you're always thinking, if you're your target market, or you know clearly what your target market is, then you've just got to, what would be fun for them? What would they be interested in? That's really all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, if I entertain myself, then that normally works for me. If I think I'm funny, I just wish the audience did. Do you know, the other thing I will say about social media? So I've just watched a lady, a comedian on social media. She's just come off Instagram because somebody said something to her that she was rude or something. She didn't acknowledge this person in the shop. And she came off saying, look, I couldn't cope with that criticism that someone thought I was rude. And if I can't cope that one person thinks I'm rude, then I shouldn't be exposing myself on social media to that level of criticism. And I've got to say, I do think she's right. If you cannot cope with the level of, I'm not sure I'd call it hatred, because I don't think it is, but people heckle you just for the fun of it. And I very much take it, and I'm like, I will interact with them because I know I get paid off every post I do. So I'm like, keep interacting with me, keep going. And like, what was it someone told me to do the other day? Go and take a beekeeping course. I went, which one do you recommend? Or what did I get? You need to register with DEFRA, which, by the way, you can't do. I was like, yeah, okay, tell me about that. Like, keep engaging with them. But if you cannot do that and you don't like it when you get the criticism, I would suggest this maybe is not the platform for you, or keep your comments turned off.
So is it feed the trolls, because that feeds the likes and the follows and the virality?
Yeah, but I think you've got to have a pretty hardy personality to do it. So you want to interact with the trolls, keep them trolling, but you can't take anything they say to heart.
Mm.
And the problem in the cleaning industry is a lot of us are very caring. We do care what people think about us. And so you aren't going to want to encourage the trolls, because why would you do that?
It feels more personal, doesn't it?
Particularly if it's you in front of the camera or your business, you are going to take it personally. So I think I've become desensitized towards social media over the last 10 years, but definitely at the beginning, I couldn't cope with this because it was personal. And they'd say this and you're like, what do you mean go and take a course? Or, how could you say that to me? Am I doing something wrong? Please criticize me more. And like, that's basically what you're saying. And now I'm just like, yeah, go on then. What course? What are we going to do? How are we going to engage with this? How much am I going to get paid for this?
I think that's the key thing, though, isn't it? Is that because we care about our businesses, it's hard not to take anything personally. Generally, never mind on social media when somebody might be having a go. But yeah, you have to sort of realise that if you're going to be affected by it, you either need to find ways of not being affected by it, like you say, or turn off comments, or just don't do it in the first place.
There is one other way to get around it. So one of the things I find quite interesting about when people are quite critical, particularly as obviously I do it in the beekeeping industry, they don't know as much about the subject as me. And generally, I find that cleaning as well. But if they don't know as much about the subject, it's quite hard to heckle someone because generally I kind of understand the subject better than them. So all you're doing, if I was to interact, you're just waiting to catch them out. So I don't interact because I'm fully aware there's no point in waiting to catch them out. But in the cleaning industry, if you are finding that you are getting criticism, you either learn to toughen up or you go, do you know what? Maybe there's some elements of what they're saying that is true. And actually, I should study more and make sure that I am the best I possibly could be. So if, for example, you're going to put out posts about all your Spanish cleaning products and then other cleaners come on and go, what are you doing? You are not a professional if you're using those. Well, either you engage with it and keep them going and get paid off the post, or you tell them they're wrong and have an argument, or you go, maybe you all have a point. Maybe I ought to learn what's going on and I'm not going to burn my lungs off. You know, you've kind of got a few options there, haven't you?
Yeah, and we've been criticised for banging the drum for professional cleaning products because we know that they are, first of all, they're cheaper, so it makes good business sense. They're also safer, which is the most important thing, really. And yet we still get criticised. Well, these ones smell nice. Yeah, great.
Yeah, or we get criticised for going, you shouldn't tell people what to do, they can do whatever they like. To which my response is, well, I want them to have healthy lungs in 10 years' time. What you're doing, I guarantee 70% of them are going to have some form of lung disease. And you go, you know, so yes, I get criticised in everything we do. Everywhere I go, I get criticised, and that's fine. I guess you've just got to be confident in what you're saying, haven't you?
Absolutely. And that's maybe it starts with get yourself educated so that when you are sharing things, you're confident what you're sharing is best practice. And yeah, it's going to not attract, hopefully, those trolls. But the trolls feed the algorithms and that gets you seen more.
They do, but the other thing as well, and I'm just going to point out a contradiction to my own argument. My husband hates posting content because he's afraid that some wording could be misinterpreted and he comes across wrong. And I'm like, just whack it out. If we're wrong, we're wrong. We'll issue an apology, and the apology will do even better than the original one, and all will be great. And so it's really hard because we've said on one hand you've got to be correct and you know go out and educate yourself. On the other hand, it's you've got to be exposing yourself to potentially being wrong in the first place. So yeah, all in all, there isn't really a right answer. Just keep whacking content out, really, isn't it?
Quality content aimed at your target audience. And that's one of the main secrets, is it?
And if you get it wrong, apologise. I've got no problem with making a public apology if I'm wrong.
So as a clean, if I'm starting my cleaning business now, which social media is going to get me the most bang for my buck? Is it, should I just go on all of them or should I focus on one?
In my opinion, what would I do? It depends. So there's lots of different social medias. So you've got Twitter where you're going to engage the most. I'm not sure how well Twitter or X sells. So I personally wouldn't do those for a cleaning business because it's too visual. You want to be doing visual things. LinkedIn is great if you want to appeal to your commercial clients. And so I'd be doing that and I'd be writing blog posts if I was doing commercial clients. If I wanted to just get maximum engagement, I think TikTok's the easiest to get a reel to go viral on. And I also think for me, the editing software between TikTok and Instagram are so similar. If you post on Instagram, it also posts to Facebook. So if you're going to do Instagram, it copies to both. If you've got a reel that is doing well on TikTok, why would you not have it on Instagram as well? So for me, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are pretty much identical. So for one thing that you've created, I've got to say, I wouldn't just copy an Instagram reel straight to TikTok. I would take what I had of the original footage and recreate it in TikTok because it does better. But all three are the same. So I would just take the three double whammy there.
Yeah, and the nice thing, of course, about Facebook and Instagram is you're right. If you post on Instagram, you can post on Facebook at the same time and vice versa. So you can post on either. Sometimes you need to tailor them slightly differently, but generally it saves you a bit of time, doesn't it?
But that isn't really where I would be focusing. If I wanted to grow my business, it actually is about being sociable, about getting to know your local people. Instagram, I would look, where are the people in your local area? What are they using? So although while I was posting, it would go on all three, I would focus on one. And if I was using Instagram, I would connect with the local high profile businesses in my area. So if, for example, there was a new cafe that was doing well, like we've got a dog cafe in our area. So they don't serve dogs, they serve people that are at the dog park. That's all over all of them. So I'm interacting with them. They mention us, we mention them. If there's a nail bar that's doing well, a gym, a golf club, I want to be interacting with them so that their members are also seeing me. And I think it's very hard to be very social on all platforms. So I would have said Facebook. I would probably say Instagram is probably outperforming in terms of social interactions now. But again, it depends on your target market.
Yeah, and that's a really good point about social media, is it is about being social. It's not just about posting stuff and hoping people see it, but you can interact with other people's content and you can almost hijack their following, can't you, if you pick the right ones. And Instagram, because it's so visual, is really good. And you're right, nail bars, hair salons, coffee shops, gyms, golf clubs, if they are active, and you need to only pick the active ones, there's no point, following and sharing people that don't post anything. But if you can find some active ones in your local area, you can literally target their audience by either sharing and or interacting with their content, can't you?
You want, for example, to work with a property developer, they're probably on one of those platforms. So I would be looking them up. It's the same with the estate agents as well. Estate agents do have pretty big social media. If you want to get in with the estate agents, I'd be going on their Instagram, going saying, that's lovely. Oh, let me share. I've just done this. Interact, be nice, do whatever you want to do, but keep interacting, because then they'll know who you are and guess who they're going to go to next. And then when you do what we always tell you to do, which is walk into that estate agents with a pack of biscuits, you're like, oh, I've been following you. And they're like, oh, who are you? Oh, yes, I know who you guys are. It's just another point of contact. And then you hand your biscuits over and go, and contact me.
Yeah, social networking, that's what it is. It's online networking, isn't it, for a business? So yeah, I love that. So, and I really enjoyed the masterclass in terms of you literally set it out as tips and tricks, and it's in our training library now, isn't it? So join the other 120 odd hours of training content in there on every topic: marketing, selling, recruiting, systems, financials, goal setting. Everything is in that training library now, and including our Instagram masterclass.
Yes. When you say it's in there, you edited it, not me, didn't you?
Yeah, it's edited and in.
Good. Thanks, Diane.
Yeah.
It works really well, doesn't it? Perfect. So let's have a bit of an update on the DCBN. So we have got the 5-day challenge coming up. May even have started by the time this goes out. So recruitment 5-day challenge in the it's for anyone, isn't it? It doesn't have to be DCBN.
Yeah, it's completely free, and it's called the DCBN Free 5-Day Recruitment Challenge. Funnily enough, it's a Facebook group that we run it in. And it's running from the 31st of March to the 4th of April, Monday to Friday. Every day there'll be a little training video and a task and a challenge set for you. And if you carry out those tasks every day, or some people cram it all in and do it all at the end of the week, but basically it'll take you from identifying your ideal candidate, writing really good job adverts, where to actually find them, interviewing, and then actually working on your recruitment process as well. So yeah, it's a completely free of charge, 5 days in a Facebook group, and people get amazing results from it. So just apply to join the group and we'll let you in when it gets nearer to the date.
I'll get free DCBN membership.
Oh yeah, so we've got something else that's just come into force, which is our partnership with DocFlight. Now, DocFlight are an amazing system for managing your paperwork and helping it flow through the business and to your clients and your team. And I've been using it for quite some time in my recruitment process, and we're now using it for our client induction process as well. And we've partnered with them as the DCBN, so all our documents are now available in the DocFlight system. But not only that, because of our new partnership, if you opt for their middle membership, which is £79 a month plus VAT, gets you all the documents and all their system in order to use those documents. But not only that, but you'll get free DCBN membership, which is currently worth £30 a month. So you get a massive discount on DocFlight and DCBN membership included. So yeah, really, really good partnership. Very excited about it.
What's, in your opinion, and you only get 3, what are the top 3 things about the DCBN membership? What 3 things would you use the most?
Top 3 things are the Monday mentoring calls. So members can book a call with myself or Louise every single Monday, if you like. I do mine on video. Louise does hers over the telephone, and we're available to answer any question about your business. So that would be my first one, would be the basically one-to-one mentoring on a weekly basis if you want it. Then it would be the training library. I absolutely love our training library. And then it would be the supply.
Best video in there?
My favorite video is we're in the time of year that we're in is raising prices without losing customers. That's one of my favorites. And then the discounts and deals. Obviously, we've talked, if you join Dotflight, you get free DCBM membership, but there's also so many other deals and discounts that you can get, whether it's a discount on Cibo, Dell, Workwear Express, and there's just so much to choose from in there. You can pretty much not just have free membership with Dotflight, but you could pay for your membership through those other discounts and deals as well.
Do you know, I'm an idiot. So there's an insurance company in there, Gleaming, which I've been with for years and years and years. Like, they got to renewal time and I just messaged them and was like, can I get my DCBA discount? And they'd be like, yeah. I was like, oh my God.
How much do you get
I
off?
literally didn't ask for it. Yeah, which on £1,000 is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, thanks. This is really awkward that I haven't asked for it previously.
Yeah, no, that's
anyway, the deals are amazing. When I got a new computer, Dell was brilliant. 20% off a new computer. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And they got good prices anyway.
Yeah, and we get VIP support with Dell as well.
Do we?
Yes,
I
we
keep
do.
having little niggles, but I think that might be a user error rather than
Well, considering I think you had to unplug your camera earlier and plug it back in again, I think it might be user error. But yeah, they do offer VIP support for VIPs just like you, Louise.
Thanks, Diane. Thanks for sharing my incompetence with the camera. Perfect. Thank you very, very much. Lovely to catch up with you and see you all soon.
Bye.